Are you looking to lose weight and save money at the same time in 2024? Well, you're in the right place because we've got 5 tips to keep the ketogenic diet from breaking the bank. Tip number 2 might make you roll your eyes, but hey, we think it's effective. I'm Joe with Wellness Weigh In. Let's get it. In order to save money on a keto diet, you have to understand what a ketogenic diet actually is. If you already know, you can skip to this timestamp. Otherwise, a ketogenic diet's purpose is to get into a state of ketosis. Ketosis is a state where your body switches metabolism from burning sugar for energy to burning fat for energy. And we do this by eating a diet that is low in carbs and high in fats. Ketosis is a beautiful thing because that's what causes our body to burn its own fat. And that's all we want, really. So the golden ratio for the macronutrients on a ketogenic diet is this. Get 70% of your calories from fat, get 20% of your calories from protein, and just 5% from carbohydrates. And remember, the important thing is low in carbs, high in fats. So now that you know what a ketogenic diet is, we can talk about exactly how to save money doing it. So here are 5 tips to save you that money, keep your wallet fat while you get skinny. Tip number 5, don't fear fats. Right? One of the premises of the ketogenic diet is a high fat intake. So skip the low fat foods. When you buy low fat foods, they often do 2 things. They inject carbs that are then hidden, and then 2, they add ingredients that we can't pronounce. And both of those things increase the price. So I'm telling you, opt for the 75-25 ground beef, the 80-20. Those are oftentimes cheaper than the leaner cuts. Chicken thighs, 1/3 the cost of chicken breasts. So get the chicken thighs. Chuck eye steak, we call that the poor man's ribeye. What a great cut of meat if you like steaks. And then of course you have the budget-friendly staples of bacon, sausage, eggs, once feared for their fat content, now fair game on a ketogenic diet. So tip number 5, don't fear the fats. So on to tip number 4, cut the cravings. If you're like me, when we started our keto journey, we basically took the keto principles and retrofit it onto our old standard American diet. Why? Because we wanted to continue eating the brownies, the cakes, the ice cream, the cookies, and all of those great treats. When we just started, I remember my wife had a killer keto chocolate chip recipe and also a pumpkin cheesecake muffin, and she would make batches of these. We'd stick them in the freezer, and then every time we walked by, we would have some, and we kept feeding into our cravings. And before we knew it, she was making several batches a week. And let me tell you, that really increased the cost feeding into those cravings. So if you can, taper down those cravings, even wean yourself off if possible. I want you to be successful, and I know that that can be a stage early on in a keto journey. So if you have to go through it, go through it. But if you want to save the money, start tapering those down. Tip number 4, cut the cravings. And so on to tip number 3, plan to prep. Buy all of your red meats, your chicken, your fish, when they're on sale, and buy a lot of them. Then you prepare the meals and divvy them up into these grab-and-go containers. Stash them in the fridge, and when you're ready, just heat and eat. This is one of my favorite tips because it saves really both time and money. And we still do this to this day with a lot of our fish and chicken. We'll cook it up, add in some steamed broccoli, steamed cauliflower, a glob of cheese right on top, put them in the fridge, and they're ready to go. So tip number 3, plan to prep. All right, and so here we are at tip number 2. Don't roll your eyes. Here we go. It's don't eat. What do I mean by that? Implement intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting breaks up your day into 2 distinct periods. Hopefully a long fasting period and then a shorter eating window. I live out my life on a 24 protocol. That means I fast for 20 hours of the day and then eat all my calories in a 4-hour time span. Now, if you're eating the golden ketogenic ratios, you get full so quick with all that fat and all that protein. So eating less means saving more money. And I don't care whether you do a 16-8 protocol, 18-6, or if you're crazy like me and just do the 24 protocol. Either way, it saves you money the more you shorten that eating window. So tip number 2, implement intermittent fasting. And here we are at the final tip, tip number 1, and that is forego the friendly. What I mean by that is skip the keto friendly items in the grocery store. Keto friendly means the opposite of wallet friendly. I was looking at the bread aisle and I saw a keto friendly loaf of bread and it cost $5.69. That's outrageous. I am guilty of buying the little ice cream pints that are $6. That's half the ice cream at double the cost. And honestly, some of those products will kick you out of ketosis. So if you are indulging in some of those, you might want to check your ketones and glucose to see how it's affecting your body. But no doubt, if you're able to skip the keto-friendly items and forego those foods, it will no doubt save you money. That is our number 1 tip. Forego the friendlies. Hey, listen, if you found any of this valuable, like and subscribe. If you have another tip that has saved you money, leave it in the comments and help out the community. I'm Joe on Wellness, telling you it doesn't have to break your bank to weigh in.